Okay, the next chart type is area chart. Okay, so area chart is like a line graph, except that it is it has an area underneath it. Okay, so let's first look at what it is, and then we will look at the use case for such a graph. Okay, so again, as other line graphs, it's suitable for time series kind of data. That is, x-axis should be time, normally speaking, most of the cases. So it can be either discrete time or continuous time. So let's first look at discrete time unit. So bring in order date to columns. Okay, and let's have order date and quarter. Okay, so I'm going to filter to just a couple of years, so we will see the whole thing in one screen width. So I'm going to filter out 2012 and 2013. So we will have only 2 years, 2014 and 15. Okay, so we can probably increase the width a little. Oops, I did too much. Increase the width a little bit. Okay, now say we want to plot sales, so bring sales into rows. So now what we have is a line graph, okay, which is the default, but we can change that to area graph. Okay. So, and then of course you have to clean up the visualization. So this is area chart, but so as of now this doesn't add any value to changing from line graph to area graph. Okay, it only makes it more filled up and less white space. So it's really not a good replacement for line graph. You might as well go with line graph. Why area graph? So area graph makes it even worse. But that is a use case, and that is, what if you want this to be broken up by a dimension, right? So let's bring in product category and drop that into color. Okay. So now we have the same area graph now broken up into, it's like a stacked bar graph, but in line format. Okay. Now let's compare this. Okay, so all I did was bring in product category and dropped it on color. So let's look at the difference now. So this is what a line graph will look with the same positioning of dimensions and measures in these cards and shelves, right? So when I change it to area, so you get cumulative plotting. So as opposed to, so here in the line graph, what we have, the height is the sales value of individual category, right? But when you do an area graph, so what you get is a cumulative graph. That is the first. Okay, let me put product category into label. So now we have each layer what category it belongs. So now we have the first layer is technology, and then you have the office supplies laid on top of it. So this height now okay, is cumulative height of the two together, right. So, like that height is technology and office supplies combined, and then of course, the third one is all three combined. So, what this gives you, which line graph doesn't, is that it gives you relative comparison of the categories against each other and against the total as well. So, this is a good chart to have a trend. So, you have time on the x axis. So, you are showing trend and you are showing the relative size of the trend, okay, in one graph for the three categories. So if that's what you're wanting to present, then this is a good choice. So once again, you need to give, okay, let's see, quarterly sales by product category for, and then you insert year. So now we can hide the order date. You don't need that. Okay, so these are good. Now, since we have sales already there, so we can edit axis and then change the tick mark. So get rid of the label and change the tick mark to, I don't know, 200,000. And then format this. So when you format, okay, so especially when you do a display unit of k, okay, so normally you wouldn't need 2 decimal places. Okay, so you want to be concise in your labeling. So when you're using $1 million, then maybe 3 decimal places, even 3 decimal places may be useful. But in this particular instance, I think this will be good. Okay. So now if I go to product category and then if I change the label to match mark color, what will happen? So it's not going to be good here because you end up with the same color as the mark and it becomes not very readable. So you have to be careful as to when you use mark color and when you don't. So let's see what this will look like when time frame is continuous instead of discrete. So let's go ahead and duplicate this sheet. Okay, and we'll name it 10. So now change the quarter to, so right now we have one pane for 2014, one pane for 2015, and then for each of the panes we have quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, this pane, quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, this pane. That's because we have 2 pills, an year pill and a quarter pill. Okay. Suppose if we didn't have year pill, then you will have only one pane where all the quarters 1 through 4 are combined. Okay, so let me put that back. So now if I change this to quarter continuous, right, Okay. So, now we still have the year, okay, sticking around. So, we need to get rid of that, remove. Okay. So, now we have a single pane, okay, starting from, we have filtered the data to contain only 14 and 15. So, 2014 Q1 through 2015 Q4 in one single pane. So, continuous.